Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Just thought I'd return to you this morning for a Tuesday album review. I'm so sorry I didn't get the Tuesday album review to you guys last night. I decided to go to sleep a little early and I was just really drained. I was just so tired. So, yeah, this Tuesday album review is for Season 7, Episode 2, for Red of Beauty and Rage. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for their fifth studio album that came out in 2015. So technically this is 10 years old as of now. And I'll let you know my thoughts on Red's new album of Beauty and Rage. So let's dive into this album review. Now I'm so sorry about the dog barking. Give me 1 second. Hey guys, I'm so sorry about the dog barking. My dog Melly was barking at a car passing by. So yeah, to get back on track, yeah, let's dive into this album review. So it starts with the first song, Descent, which is the opening intro track to the record. And overall, it's pretty good of an intro track. It's only a minute and 12 seconds introducing you to the next song, Imposter. So I'd give it a 5 out of 5. It's enjoyable. And she might bark again, by the way, so I may have to pause the video again. We'll just wait and see what happens. But the next song is Imposter, and it's a very good song, by the way. I really enjoyed this track. I think Michael Barnes' singing vocals and his screaming potential in this is pretty strong. And overall, the drum work and guitar work's pretty good, along with the orchestrated violin work and all that stuff. Did very well. So, really enjoyed this track. It's definitely a personal favorite, 5 out of 5. It is the actual starting song for Michael Barnes and the band performing in the track, but overall it did very well. Shadow and Soul is a very good track. It is pretty lengthy, it's almost 6 minutes, but it is enjoyable of a track. There were some good screaming moments from Michael Barnes from time to time, but overall his singing potential was really good in this, so I really enjoyed this, and the drumming and guitar work in this whole entire song is very good. 5 out of 5. Darkest Part is a pretty good song too. I'd give it a 5 out of 5. It was one of the singles for the record, and they made a music video for it. I think this was one of the only music videos they made for this song, and for pretty much the only single that got a music video. But overall, I think it's enjoyable for how it sounds, so 5 out of 5 for this one. I really enjoyed this. The music video is pretty cool, and overall, the themes behind the music video and everything is the theatrical stuff about the music video was pretty cool, and Michael Barnes' singing and the drumming and all that was pretty strong. 5 out of 5. Fight to Forget was another great song. Really enjoyed this one. It's a 5 out of 5 for sure. Michael Barnes' singing and screaming in this is very good. And overall, just the drumming and guitar work is really strong too. So, really enjoyed this. So, another personal favorite, 5 out of 5. Of These Chains was a really melodic song, but I really enjoyed it. It's a really nice song for how it sounds. It's really mellow. It's probably one of the only mellow tracks on this record, but it does very well for how it sounds. So they made a melodic track with this one, and it worked with the execution. So 5 out of 5. Falling Sky is a 5-minute and almost 30-second track, but it does really well with the execution. It's really strong with the drum work, and the guitar work did very well for the execution. And Michael Barnes' singing and screaming was really good in this. So I really enjoyed the verses and the chorus. They're very strong highlights of this for this whole song. And also the instrumentation and orchestrated instrumentation sounded really good. 5 out of 5. The Forest was an interlude track going into Yours Again after that. And overall, it did pretty well as an intro track. Or an interlude track, I should say, to recorrect myself. 5 out of 5. Yours again is another one that was announced as a single, but it overall didn't I think this was the last single for the album to be announced and all that, but overall it did very well for how it sounded. I don't think they dropped many singles for this record, but it still sounded really good. So yours again had nice melodic vocals from Michael Barnes, and overall the drumming in this and guitar work is pretty good. So I really enjoyed this. It's another hard rock, melodic rock kind of track, and it does very well. 5 out of 5. What You Keep Alive is a pretty good song in its own way. Not one of my favorites, but it's solid enough to listen through. So 4.75 out of 5. It is pretty lengthy. It's like 5 minutes and 22 seconds. But its overall does very well for the execution. So it's still going to get a pretty good score in its own way. So 4.75 out of 5 for the song itself. Gravity Lies is one of my favorites on this record. One of them. The next track is my personal favorite. But overall, I think Michael Barnes' screaming in this was really good. His screaming potential was strong. And overall, the singing potential in the chorus was the highlight. And this track did very well, and it flowed very well for 4 minutes and 34 seconds. So 5 out of 5. Take Me Over is another personal favorite I enjoyed. So 5 out of 5 for this one. I like Michael Barnes' singing potential in this. Did very good. And overall, just the drumming and guitar work was really strong in this track. So I really enjoyed this song. It's one of my personal favorites off this record. 5 out of 5. Probably the best track on this record. Along with some other tracks. There was a lot of great highlights on this record from Red. The Ever is a pretty good song in its own way, but I don't know, I just wasn't feeling for this as much as the other tracks, along with What You Keep Alive being another pretty good song, but least favorite of the songs that I kind of are thinking are alright, but not great. But overall, The Ever did fairly well for how it sounded, so 4.75 out of 5 for this one. I don't know, this one with the verses were kind of a little stale, but the overall track didn't sound bad. So it wasn't my favorite song, but it wasn't the worst track. So 4.75 out of 5. Part That's Holding On is the... Give me a second, I gotta pause the video. Hey guys, sorry again for pausing the video. I was just making sure that I wasn't getting any interruptions, and my mom just called me on my cell phone with the ringtone that was going off, the All the Love Is Gone by Underoath, so yeah. Part That's Holding On is a very strong track. I really enjoyed this one, and it's a 5 out of 5 for sure for this track. It is the official closing track, but the official closing track is Ascent. But overall, it did very well. For how it sounded. Part That's Holding On. Michael Barnes' singing potential is very strong in this. And execution-wise, I think the drumming and guitar work was really good on this song. So, really enjoyed this track. Very nice vocals from Michael Barnes. I really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5. Ascent is the closing track to this record, and it's overall a very strong outro to the record. It starts with Descent, ends with Ascent. So, very strong execution for the record overall. So, yeah, Ascent is a very strong track. I'm sorry that there was some audio mess ups or whatever. It's just my cat was moving around a little too much, and I was kind of like, dude, don't mess with the laptop, please. But overall, Ascent is a very strong track, so it's a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed this. So it's the outro track to the record, but it does very well with the instrumentation and the violin work. So Really enjoyed this orchestrated, well-produced track. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Red of Beauty and Rage is probably one of my personal favorite Red albums that they've put out. I know they've put out some other really good records as the years go by, but overall, this is probably my personal favorite from Red. I know the next record I'm going to review is a more experimental album from Red, which is Gone. But you will see that during the Tuesday album review season 7. I can't tell you which episode, but it's going to happen soon. Pretty soon. But overall, I think Of Beauty and Rage is a strong record. It did very well for the execution. I think Michael Barnes' singing potential was very strong. I think the drumming and guitar work did very well. And overall, with the execution, this record pulled it off for what they were going for. Started off great, ended well. Even though there were 2 songs that I would say are pretty solid, but they played safe, but they're not the best tracks, like personal favorites, to where I would have given it a 10 out of 10. But overall, if I were to give this record its deserved score, I'm feeling a very strong 9.5 out of 10. It's a really strong record, definitely rocks for sure. My personal favorite Red record in their discography, and I really enjoyed what they offered with this record, and it was a really strong record back in 2015, and I still enjoy it to this day. So 9.5 out of 10 for Red of Beauty and Rage for this Tuesday album review. I hope you enjoyed this Tuesday album review for Season 7, Episode 2. I'm sorry that I paused the video a few times during this review. I just had to make sure there were no interruptions, and I was just making sure to get you guys a good review for this one. Just have other responsibilities at home too as well, besides YouTube videos. But until then, you will see some new reviews coming out soon. I found 2 of the new album reviews that I got a chance to listen to, like the 3 Days Grace Alien Nation and Deftones Private Music. I found those. They were leaked last night. But overall, I will review those in the next, I would say pretty soon. They will be premiered, of course. But until then, yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for Red of Beauty and Rage. Thanks for watching this Tuesday album review this morning.